Thank you so much for watching Riff TV. Now, this interview is obviously with video, but I don't interview everybody on Zoom. That's why I put it on my Talkin' Rock with Meltdown podcast. We talk to rock artists from all over the genre. So check out Talkin' Rock with Meltdown wherever you get your podcasts. And now to today's video interview. Well, good to see you guys. A lot of exciting things happening in this moment, isn't there?
Yes, there is. Nice to see you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah. First of all, I just want to clarify what's going on with you guys as far as the shows here in Detroit, because I'm a little bit confused. I have to be honest. I've searched around and searched around. So Ice Nine Kills is playing with Metallica on November 12th here in Detroit. You guys are supposed to, on one thing I saw you guys are playing here, but then on another thing I saw you guys aren't playing here. And then are you guys playing here with Motionless In White in October? So, or don't you know either?
I have no
shows in October with Motionless In White.
No, I have no idea what's going on with that. It could be though that they're playing their show with Metallica, and on those dates on this tour with them, we have off shows somewhere else.
Yeah.
Usually, but I don't really know right now. I don't have the
yeah, I think on the Ice Nine tour, there's that tour with them and us. There's a few shows where they're with Metallica, and we're doing one-offs with us, Avatar, and New Year's Day. So it could be something like that, but we don't have the itinerary in front of us.
Yeah, by the way, the Kiss of Death tour is what you're talking about. And
Yes.
For a rock fan, this is like all of our nightmares come true on this tour, isn't it?
I love that. Yeah, we think that what a beautiful, theatrical, cool, special night it's going to be for people and us. I'm really excited for this tour.
Now, I wanted to ask you, Maria, and I'll ask you too, Chris, that it's like if what was like what was like the thing that triggered you as far as theatrical rock when you were growing up?
Well, I mean, I've always loved, like, Chris loves Kiss.
Yeah, he said he was going to ask me. He literally goes, he likes Kiss. I don't know. She loved Marilyn Manson and that kind, and Nine Inch Nails and those theatrics. That's
like Circus Soleil and the circus in general, not anymore because of the animals, but yeah, just anything theatrical and over the top. And I always thought Kiss was so cool too. And when I was little, yeah, Madonna and like whoever, So when we did the Blood album, something like our whole band kind of almost broke up, and our manager dropped us, and all this crazy stuff happened, and it was kind of like this rebirth for in this moment. And when we started fresh is when we started kind of bringing that world to life, and there was no turning back.
Yeah, it's funny because guys my age, I'm in my 50s now, and it's like, Ellison and Frank Bello and all these guys, it's all about Kiss when they were growing up, right? And I liked Kiss as well, but I'll never forget watching Alice Cooper in 1984 on MTV doing a live show from right here in Detroit. At the time, I grew up in Buffalo. I wasn't even here yet. And
Right.
To me, that was like kind of a thing that made me become a theatrical rock fan.
I think he's the founder of a lot of that stage horror and all those things and all that, like
definitely cool.
and skits, and I mean, just absolutely amazing.
Yeah. So you guys played here last year in Riff Fest, and I was blown away by the stage show. I think that there was I think you guys only played about 7 songs, but there's always something going on. What do you have that's cool and unique on these tours?
Well, we're bringing a lot of new bells and whistles. And yeah, we're the type of band that because it's so theatrical, we have so much going on, like we don't play as many songs as other bands might in that same exact time frame. But I think that we're bringing also this whole other element and this whole other show and experience, So we have fire, we have all kinds of new bells and whistles. We have new music that's not even released yet for my new album as well. So we're bringing a lot. And then the next tour is going to be, because the album will be out when we're out on the Ice Nine's Kills tour, then we're gonna have even more brand new songs.
Yeah, by the way, Maddie and Matt from Ashes to New, they're my friends. And they said this tour is going awesome, and I told them I would name drop them in the interview. So there we go.
Yes, we're grateful to have all the bands here. This is a really cool lineup. This is in this moment's first time doing a co-headliner in arenas. Like, we've worked our whole life and talked about touring arenas, and we have the headline arenas with fire and all the things, and so it's really exciting for us to be having new things happening.
Now, you just talked about the record Godmode drops on October 27th, so I'll just throw it out to both of you guys. Tell us a little bit about the record. Of course, the first single's already out, but tell us about this album.
Well, it's different from all of our other albums in a lot of ways. One way is the fact that instead of getting off of a tour and having like 3 months to get it together and go into the studio and make a new one, we had, you know, several years to do it. And we used a different producer. We used Kane Churko instead of his father, Kevin. Kevin has done all of our records except for one. So he's done 6 in this moment albums. Kane's done this newest one. And it honestly, working with him brought a whole new level of intensity to the project, and the change and the time we had to make it kind of made us a little bit more, I don't know, powerful and aggressive. And the whole thing has an intensity to it that's different for us, because it was a whole fresh new vibe, the whole thing.
Now, was the song "The Purge"? You guys had that kind of kicking around since the pandemic, is that right?
We had the music kicking around, and she had an idea of what she was going to do vocally on it, you know, for months and months. And you know, once we got to the studio and just kind of.
But we didn't know the Purge. I think we used the vocal and melody.
You had the scat of the verses though. Not, you know, she had that going in. I didn't hear any of her stuff until the day we got to Las Vegas. Yes. And I played her 4 songs and she was scatting like.
Well, yeah, I had like little melody things in my head, but I hadn't laid anything down.
That just means she's spitting like gibberish, but you can tell, oh, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Now, Maria, I mean, you know, this might be an obvious question, but when you're writing a song, are you thinking about the stage? Or are you thinking about a video, or just writing a song?
In the beginning, it's just about the music, you know, it's like making a cake, and there's like the different layers, and you have to start with like the foundation, and the music is the most important part as far as like creating that real foundation, because you can do all these bells and whistles and all these extra little things, but if the music sucks and there's no foundation, it's not going to resonate, right? So it really is about first focusing on that music as the bottom and the core and the foundation, making sure that moves you, and that if somebody's closing their eyes and they can't even see anything, it's not about what anyone looks like or any stage props or anything at all. The music has to give them emotions and feelings, and maybe give a little goosebump or a little this and that. Like, you have to start from there. So, but I do, as soon as I know that's sick and it starts to, I start dreaming about.
You better believe the minute it sounds good coming through the speaker, she's like, oh yeah, we're gonna do that. She starts.
Yeah, I start like thinking of new exciting things that we could do. And I'm always separately just trying to find inspiration and be inspired on different levels. So I might know there's a certain visual that I want to bring to life on a new tour, but I might not know where and when and how and all that, except for fire. We are using fire now, and there's just no turning back. We are obsessed. Nothing compares to having that fire go off on stage. So we love it.
Now, how much of the video treatment do you do, or do you leave it up to somebody else, or do you kind of give them a little bit of, a little bit of direction, or do you do it all?
Well, I have been directing with Robert Clay all of our music videos for like the last over 10 years straight. And so I've always been very involved with very everything. But recently we found this new director that we've had our eye on named Jensen. He's been working with Falling in Reverse, Ice Nine Kills, a few other bands. And this guy's videos are next level and just bringing things to life. And I just kept thinking, we should work with this guy. And I showed it to Chris, and he was like, oh my God, yes, he's amazing. So I still wrote the story treatment. I have to always, I don't have people write stuff for me. You know, nobody writes music for me or lyrics or tells me how I'm going to do a photo shoot, or it's just not who I am. So I had to come up with a story, and then he was beautiful. He loved the idea. He had ideas. We worked together amazing. And I loved him directing this video. I loved not worrying about anything. He was A+, his whole team. We want to do the next video with him. Like, this guy's really amazing.
Yeah, the video's killer. Let's get back to the record here, October 27th. Like I said, it drops. So tell me a little bit more about the record. Is there any covers on this album?
Yeah,
there's one cover on the album. Yep.
I wish I had my list here. I don't have my list. So anyways, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's a Bjork cover.
We'll tell you, it's a Bjork cover.
It's been released.
Army of Me. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any collaborations with special guests like you've done in the past?
Yeah, we have one collaboration with Spencer from Einstein.
Yep.
On a song, probably gonna play that song on the next.
Yep, we have a song with Spencer coming out, and it's perfect timing because it's going to be released right before the tour hits. So we'll probably do it on the tour together.
Yeah. Tell me the typical like vibe of the whole record.
It's It's very visceral. I mean, we came out of the pandemic and just the 3 years and all these building up things in us. So it's a little darker than we normally maybe tend to be. I like to always kind of have some inspirational moments and things like that. And there's some of that in there, but it is a lot of purging, kind of a lot of built up like things that have, you know, I guess we felt trapped for 3 years and just so many things going on and everybody at each other's throats. So there is a lot of kind of visceral releasing in there, let's say.
It's heavier and there's more.
It's heavier. Yeah, it's heavier than we normally do. There's different time signatures than we've ever done and a lot new experimental things. And I'm excited for it. I really am. I think people are going to like it.
Is this all stuff, like you say, it's heavier and different time change? Is this all stuff that you kind of go in with that in your mind, or is it just kind of organically happen?
Well, we knew we wanted to do kind of off. I love all that off time signature stuff. Like I'm obsessed with how people take two parts and bring it to the one part's go in one way and then this other part comes in, but it really doesn't go with this part. And then all of a sudden they all start going together. And so I kept telling him I really wanted to start bringing in a lot of this. He loves all that. He's like, hell yeah. And we just started creating. It was a really natural flow for us. Like we bumped heads before in the past, and in this moment really does wind up always having its sound because of us two collaborating. If it was just me, it'd be very one way. If it was just Chris, it'd be very one way. In this moment because of like how we collide. But we were just flowing on this one. I was so impressed with every single thing he was bringing to the table. He was loving what I was bringing to the table. There was no fighting. It was just like flow like a river, we were calling it, because it was beautiful.
Is that usually the case, or are you guys usually like kind of at each other's throat, or is there a little bit of friction going on, and this time it just kind of came out, huh?
We're best friends, business partners, basically brother and sister. We talk every day. And we're both fire signs and we are passionate people. We never fight in our personal life, right? Friendship. We never fight with our friendship, very rarely ever. Fair. But we're both very passionate with business and things. So we tend our music. So we might bump heads sometimes. People just know if me and him start getting, they just all leave us alone. Let us figure it out.
Chris, would you say this record's a little bit more I guess maybe I'm reading between the lines, a little more proggy than the last records?
It definitely is. Oh, yeah. And heavier and just more, there's more riffs kind of, but in a way that works with the song. You know, I don't know. I think the time that we had to make it, the unintentional time with the pandemic and everything, made it so that it's just better, because the pressure of having to just come up with a bunch of new stuff on the spot, you know, it made me check out a lot on some of the previous albums on just, you know, the feeling of creativity, whereas this one, it all felt more flowy, like she said, you know.
And I love the fact that it's coming out on October 27th. Now, Chris, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Topeka, Kansas.
Okay, so Maria, I grew up in New York, like you did, and we get the 4 seasons, and once like school starts, it starts to become like Halloween mode.
Yeah,
we love Halloween too.
I'm already excited for Halloween. I'm like, it's turning fall. I mean, October is the best. Everybody loves Halloween, right?
Right. Well, I was going to say it's a perfect time for you guys to go out on tour. You guys can't not tour in the fall, right?
It's true. We're a Halloween band.
The temperature is good then too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because you guys got some gigs now. You guys playing outdoor gigs or these inside theaters?
We had a few on this tour, and some of these places have been hot, man.
Yeah, 100 and something, like gear overheating and everything. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I can imagine. And I really like it. Like here in Detroit right now, it's pretty warm out right now, but there's been a couple nights where it's gotten down in the 50s, and that starts to bring you like the Halloween mode.
That's what's up.
I know, I love it.
You know, speaking of that, you know, I'm a big horror movie fan. Obviously, you guys are. Have you guys seen any good ones lately, like the Evil Dead, or I just saw the Insidious, The Red Door? I thought that was pretty good.
I just watched that new Evil Dead because it just came out, I think, on HBO or something like that.
I thought that was pretty good.
Pretty intense, yeah.
Yeah.
It was awesome, yeah, for sure.
I liked that movie Barbarian. It just came out too. Have you seen that? That thing is
that one takes place in Detroit.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, in a little town called Brightmoor, which is kind of a rundown area just outside of Detroit. And I don't know if they filmed it here, but that was pretty good. What else have you seen?
Oh gosh, X and Bell, and I haven't been seeing anything recently though.
Yeah,
Like,
me neither.
Since we've been on tour and in pre-production, we haven't really been to the movies yet.
Yeah.
People are going to the movies right now, and we're here.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. I just saw the preview for the new Saw movie comes out, and it takes place between the first and second one, I guess, and it's supposed to be longer and gruesomer than the first Saw movies.
Oh gosh.
Maybe they'll be able to bring it back with that.
Yeah, right. I mean, how much does that kind of stuff play into well, not so much your music, but like, you know, your the visual part of what you guys do?
It's so funny because certain horror I just really can't watch and don't watch. It'll get in my head too much. I'm OCD, which is an obsessive compulsive disorder. So if I watch something, it can get into my head, and if it gets in my head the wrong way, it'll become like a tick, and I'll fixate. So I have to be careful on certain things that I watch, which people don't expect from me because we are like this gothic band, and there's certain things, but some dark stuff I can fully watch. Like I can watch Black Mirror, and I like American Horror Story, and I love alien stuff and sci-fi and a lot of that. But if it's like super torturous or like crazy long rape scenes or crazy stuff, like I just can't watch it. It's too much for me, but just depends on the movie.
For the dudes, you know, the makeup is, I think, more like inspired by like Kiss, I would say, for at least for Randy and I. But the blood, you know, on the cross and stuff like that, we just like to have fun, and it is like Halloween almost every single day, you know, because we spent an hour getting ready and putting blood on your face, you know. It's definitely cool.
Yeah, you know, some guys like the, you know, obviously the Slipknot guys have the masks, and, you know, Kiss did all the makeup and stuff. Do you feel that transformation before you're getting ready to go on stage when you put all your gear on?
Absolutely. It feels completely transformed. Everyone feels that. And, you know, and you're normally just yourself, but you're literally putting on this like persona and this costume to go out and be something else for the time that you're doing it, you know. Because if it was just a regular band and we just went out there and played, and, you know, it'd be different, but we're, you know, in a show kind of being a character and playing our music. So
yeah, I don't even want to be me up there at all. It's like this other parts of myself and these other personalities, which I love, which I do. That's why I love to become different characters for the different songs, and to be able to transform and come alive in these different ways. I'm ready to completely mask up. I don't even want to show my face anymore. I keep telling him I just want it to become about the art and become about the characters. He might be retiring real soon though, because I told him next album I think I'm getting close. I mean, right now on stage, I think I only show my face for one song. So I love dressing up, becoming these characters, and having this other side of me be invoked for sure.
Well, obviously, Maria, you're the you know, face of the band for all intents and purposes. Chris, you must love it when you put all your stuff on. You go out to the movies, nobody probably even recognize you, right?
Yeah, I love it, man. Yeah, I don't need to be recognized. Hard to hide the dreads, though.
Yeah. How often do you get recognized, Maria?
I mean, I do. I'm a pretty low-key person. I'm really private, hide out a lot. I'm alone a lot. I live near the woods and just try to, like, you know, go to the ocean and the woods and just hide away. But I get recognized though. Most people are pretty chill, and everybody's pretty sweet though.
Yeah, I suppose it probably just depends on like where you are, right? If you're just the local town, you know, they probably won't recognize you. But if you guys are playing that town that night and you're at a movie theater, people might see you.
Like, yeah, if I'm hanging out in like Denver, we're getting recognized tons. If I'm hanging out in like a little mountain city, like in, you know, Arizona, like, but no one's going to know who we are. It's like, just depends where you are, what scene you're at, and things like that. I could walk through the grocery store just fine. I might get fans in the grocery store, but they're usually just chill. They'll just roll up to me with their cart and be like, you look just like Maria Brink.
Do you tell them, yes, I am, or?
Yeah, I do. I'll be like, you think so? And then I'll probably just tell him or whatever.
I remember a funny story that Kid Rock bought 200 acres of land down in Nashville, outside of, you know, Nashville, Tennessee. And he's riding his ATV the one day, and the guy next door, who's got 100 acres, is cutting his grass, and he rides his ATV up to him and says, yeah, I'm Bobby. I just bought the house here next door. And he goes, man, you look like an ugly Kid Rock.
That's hilarious. I could see somebody thinking that to me when I'm out and about, because, you know, you're just doing your thing. You're just going to the grocery store, or you're just going to Target or whatever, you know, and so people, they don't see you in that everyday light. So sometimes they don't think it's me. I've been told multiple times that I look like Maria Brink. So they don't think I'm me. So that's hilarious.
That is funny.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, we will cut you guys loose. The Dark Horizon tour is what you guys are on now. The Kiss of Death tour is what you guys are going on after the record drops. Godmode comes out on October 27th. Anything else guys need to plug? Anything else that you think the fans should know?
I don't think
No, I think that's it, man. Godmode and the Kiss of Death tour coming up.
Yes, and thank you for caring.
Yeah,
Thanks for
the
talking
interview.
with us again. And it's nice to have people care about all this. And you're going to get to come to a show, you said. So we're excited about everything.
No, I love it because this is like really in my wheelhouse, and I like to consider myself creative as well, and I like to see the creativity with some of the stuff like bands like what you guys bring to the table.
Yeah, I love that you appreciate that, and you're like you like that part of the scene. You know, some people don't like that, so thank you for caring, and we want you to come out to the show too.
I just noticed your Ozzy shirt too, man.
Yeah,
Ozzy coming down on the big throne on the tour.
Epic.
That's what's up.
Yeah, Ozzy. I don't know. You know where you guys got your spark for rock and roll, but when I was in 7th grade back 87 years ago, a kid told me, so you should hear this Ozzy guy, and I went home and I heard Crazy Train, and that moment changed my life.
Yeah, dude, I loved Ozzy my whole life too, man.
Yeah.
You guys you ever had a chance to meet him?
We toured with him, yeah.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
We did a song. We did the "Call Me" cover in his home studio at his house.
Yeah.
He came down there while we were tracking and told us some stories and stuff. Like, yeah, it's awesome.
And we played a sold out Madison Square Garden show opening up for him too.
Wow, that's so cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, you guys probably got to meet a lot of your heroes, eh?
We really did. Yeah, there's a few I haven't worked with, but I almost kind of don't want to. I'm like, I've met everybody, and like sometimes when you see all the behind the scenes and you hang out with people, it's really cool and exciting, but some of that alluring magic kind of goes away. So some of them, my people I haven't really, I'm like, maybe I'll never want to meet them or work with them. Keep that.
I'm good to keep it sacred from this point on in my life.
Well, have you ever met Kiss?
We've met some of the people in Kiss. I don't think I've ever actually met Paul Stanley or anything like that. I met Peter Criss, and he was super, super, super nice.
Yeah.
And Ace was nice.
That's like he loved Ozzy and Kiss when he was growing up big time.
Yeah.
Rob Halford. That's why when we got to work with Rob Halford, it was like, a dream.
Yeah, Rob Halford's so nice. And then I've had a chance to meet a lot of my heroes growing up. And one of them I just wrote about because I think it was his birthday or something. It was Ronnie James Dio. I only met him once. I'll never forget it. It was like one of the greatest experiences I ever had.
I never got to meet him, man. But I've seen like video of all his stuff. He's such a nice guy.
Legend.
And an awesome singer.
Yeah, but I thought about that, Maria, when you said something about the magic, and it's like that was his thing. He actually signed some of my stuff to Meltdown Magic.
I love that. Yeah, and if you have a good experience with them, it can stay just as sweet, But you just don't want to get anything.
Catch somebody at the wrong time.
Catch someone at the wrong time, and they're mean to you. You're like, no, I've loved you for so long. That's why I try to always be so kind when I meet people, or they catch me in the grocery store or whatever, because. I don't want to ruin anything magical that somebody has their idea.
Because we've had it ruined for us for certain people.
Some people, yeah.
Like you're like, oh,
I'm not
that band, and then you meet them, you're like, oh,
or you're like, they were like one of your favorite bands. Maybe they're not nice when you first meet them, and all of a sudden you're like, oh man.
Well, Lizzie Hale told me a story that Dio told her. Now, obviously, you guys know Lizzie, but he said Dio told her, and this makes total sense, that you're going to meet a lot of people. You're never going to remember their faces or their names or where you met them, but they're always going to remember meeting you. So you got to be nice to them.
Yeah, I like that saying. It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we could share rock star stories all day long, but I've taken up enough of your time. The new record comes out on October 27th, and safe travels. We'll see you here in Detroit.
Awesome. Thanks for having us, bro.
See you soon. Bye.